Hello everyone, today I'm going to do unboxing and review of the Arctic Air Pure Chill. This little fan retails for $40 and right now you can buy it on Amazon for $30. Now I paid my own money for this and I've been using it for the last month and I'm going to give you my honest opinion on this. I'm going to test the temperature, the output of air, the sound, and just tell you if it's worth buying. Now, let's go over the box first and see what they promise you in the box. Now, I already reviewed one of the Arctic Air products and they promised a lot on the box and they didn't deliver. So let's go over the front of the box. It says Arctic Air Pure Chill, new and improved. So they had a previous version. This should be the improved. Now, they also have Pure Chill 2.0, which is another improvement. So I didn't get that one. I decided to get this one. I do plan on getting Pure Chill 2.0, but I wanted to test this one first and then see what kind of improvements they made on the 2.0 version. It says max cooling power. Enjoy cool, cleaner air anywhere. Personal space cooler, adjustable 3 speeds, quiet operation. Now this is a big one. Lightweight and portable. Cool, clean, humidify. And let's go on this side. I'm not going to read all this. You guys can pause it if you want to read it. It says hot, dry air coming in, cool, moist air coming out. Cool, clean, humidify again. And then on this side, we have includes Arctic Air Pure Chill replaceable evaporative air filter, which I will show you. Wall adapter is easy instruction guide. Multi-directional air vent. It says runs up to 10 hours per fill. LED nightlight control, 3-speed, low, medium, high. And then this is how you fill up the water. And then on the final side, it says great for living room dens, offices, kitchen, bathrooms, bedroom, basements, and more. So that's the box. And I also forgot to mention on top, it says built-in LED light, changes 7 colors, which I will show you that in the review. So let's open and see what comes inside. Now I have 2 of these, so this one I did open just to make sure it works, but I haven't used this one. This is the one I've been using. It's the same one. The reason I bought 2 is I wanted one for my bedroom and one for the other bedroom, so I don't have to move them around, even though they are light and portable. But I will show you guys why it's hard to move them around from one room to another. Now we have the, let me just put this on the side. We have the instructional manual. Let's open it. And now here it says stop, do not return to the store, even though most people will return the store. And now we have 20% off on the next purchase. And here we go, the product guide. And this pretty much tells you everything, which I will explain. I'm very familiar with the product itself, so I don't need this, but if you guys want to pause it or and there we go, that's the startup guide or the manual. All right, so next thing is the charger. Now this is a one-piece charger. And I believe on previous version you were able to use USB to plug it into your laptop or somewhere else. But this one, if you lose the charger, because it uses this kind of adapter, so make sure you don't lose the charger. The charger length is pretty long. I would say 4 or 5 feet, something like that. And here's the specs on the charger. So yeah, it uses this kind of adapter, so make sure you don't lose the charger. And let's open. Now you already seen how it looks, but let me show you this other one, and then I can go over it more easier since this one already filled up with water. So let me put this aside, and then I'll show you how the logo looks before I started. Now let me just adjust the camera a little bit. There we go. Now this is how it looks. On this side we have the sticker. It says basically how to use it, plug it in. And on the back we have this, it's hard to see, but there's a big fan on the back of the unit. So this is where the air is coming in, and then it uses that fan that pushes the air through the filter, and the moist, cool air should come out. And on the bottom you have some rubber stoppers so the fan doesn't move on your table. And on top we have this I'm not sure what to call it, but it does have spaces inside. This is where you pour in your water. You can also remove it if you want to pour the water that way, but you can also pour it through here so the water will slide and get inside the tank. And here we have two buttons. We have LED, which will specify which speed you use. So it has 3 different speeds. So whichever light is light on, you'll see which speed you're on. This is the power button, and also how you change the speeds on the fan. And this is the LED light where you change the color of the LEDs. Now, once we take it out, we get the filter. And let me show you the actual filter. It's easy to take out. Now, this is the filter. The material is a bit of soft, but it's also not too soft where it's crumbly, like for example, car filter where it's all looking a little bit like paper. This is different material. Now, this isn't the same filter that they use on other evaporative coolers that I use. This is some softer, almost like a sponge material for you know, those sponges that you use to wash dishes. Kind of feels like that. But other than that, that's the filter. And here right on top, before you remove it, it says, for best results, pre-soak filter. To activate cooling, soak your filter under running cold water. And then here, for maximum cooling, place a wet filter in the freezer until frozen. Now, I do have an extra filter, which is already in the freezer. I make sure I soaked it in the water and place it in the freezer. Now, this might seem like a hassle, but I did it anyway just to show you how much it improves the air. I'm gonna test it without that filter, and then I'm gonna test it once I pop in that frozen filter to see the change in temperature. Now, it does seem like a bit of a hassle to do this, and I'm going to assume that, you know, after you take it out of the freezer, depending how hot your room is, that frozen filter will only stay frozen for about 15, 20, 30 minutes. So you will have to do this over and over. The way this product used, since it doesn't have a pump or anything, once you put in water, this is where the water, or you can just take off the top, so easy to remove. So once the water is in tank, it uses this little hole, and also there's space on the bottom. And then after you remove this part, if you want to remove it, you can it has like a little sensor where it like takes the water from this tank and just drips it on top of the filter. Now, the filter itself doesn't have any holes, so all that water, once the filter is pushed in, all the water will kind of drop on this part. So it will start dropping here, and I guess it will seep through maybe like the middle of the filter, because I've been using it for about an hour just to see how it works, because I was kind of like, how does this work? It just makes no sense. But I guess the water will seep on top of it, and then it will kind of wet maybe the middle too. Since, you know, once I took it out, only maybe like 3 of these were a little bit wet, but the rest weren't wet at all. So I'm like, this makes no sense how it works. But, you know, I guess it has a sensor where it's telling the tank to sip a little bit of water, like a couple drops every few minutes. And as I said, the drops will just drop here, and then from here, I guess the fan pushes the drops to maybe fall down. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, it would be much better if this side had like a little holes, and then once the water drops, the, you know, inside on top, the water can go inside the holes and just go down the filter and then wet the filter. But there's only one way which will go in, and yep, and this is the way. And now it's put into the place, and now you can push it in. Any other way, it just doesn't want to fit. So once you push it in, this is where the water is coming out, and once I push it in, the water will be dropping on top here. And it just makes, I don't know, it just, for me, it makes no sense. Maybe I use too many evaporative coolers with the pump where the water will seep down the filter, and it would wet the filter, and it will give you that cooling power. But for this, it just, honestly, it doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. Now, on the back of the unit, this is where you plug in your charger, and all you have to do is plug it in, add water, and soak your filter, and that's how it works. Now, let's turn it on and see how it works. First, so I already have this one plugged in, so I can put the water on top. I guess I can do that, or I can just remove it so I don't have to wet it. So all you have to do is get a pitcher, a bottle of water, and just add some water. And here it will show you how much water it is. And there we go. Now the reason I did buy two so I don't have to carry it, because once once you already have water, it's so hard to carry it because you can spill. So to actually move this unit around, you either have to have a very steady hands and move it from one place to another, or you're gonna have to just empty the water, and the only way to do it is to unplug it and then tip it over to empty the water. So even though it is portable, but at the same time it's not, because of the tank is just, this won't hold that, and this is very flimsy. So once we put that on, it does snap, but at the same time it's, look, it's so easy with just my pinky. So if I tip it, it's just gonna, water is all gonna spill, so doesn't serve its purpose. But so once we have that on, now I'm going to turn it on and show you how it sounds. But next I'm gonna measure the sound levels and the temperature. But first thing first, let's just see how it sounds and how it turns on. Now that's in third speed. Let's go second. And this is the first. All right, the next thing I want to do is show you all the cool colors. So let's go this one. All right, so the next thing I want to do is measure the decibels, the sound of this unit. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use one of my apps, and I'm gonna be quiet, and I'm gonna measure the third, the second, and the first speed. I'm gonna try to put this. Hold on, let me see if I can put it between here. And yeah, that's visible. So I'm gonna be quiet and I'm gonna turn it on, and then we're gonna measure the sound. Now, since this is the desk spot cooler, it's going to be very close to your face, so the sound will be much louder than the ones that are like 3-4 feet away from you. So let's go third speed. All right, so we got 65 on the third, 62 on the second, and 58 on the lowest speed. Now, the next thing I want to do is measure the air. Now, what I have here is my room temperature, which is 76 degrees. So when I do turn it on, it's probably going to show me 76 right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let it run for about 30 minutes with the water inside. Then we'll come back, check the temperature, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put in that frozen filter inside, which I have in the freezer, and then we'll see how much temperature it adjusts with that frozen filter. So let's turn it on. I'm gonna put it on the first speed, and then we'll test the temperature. All right, so we got that. Now let me check the temperature. So we got 76.8, which is pretty much the room temperature. Now I will let this run for about 30 minutes, and then we'll come back and check the temperature. So it's been about 20 minutes, and temperature in my room is 77 because it is getting hot, outside. So the room of my temperature went up a degree. This is a spot cooler. This will not lower the temperature of your room or of your office, or even a small spot. What this will do is it will give you a cool breeze air. Now to measure the air, I got my gun, so let's do this. Now I gotta make sure the laser is closed, so now we're just gonna put it on, and let's see. So what we got right now is 71.9 here, if you guys can see it. So 77, 72. So you can lower the temperature of the air by around 4 degrees. So next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get that filter from the freezer. I'm gonna put it in, and then we'll see how much difference does it make. All right, so I'm back with the filter from the freezer. What I did is I drenched it in water, then I put it in the freezer. You guys can see on the camera that it is frozen. It's very hard. You can see the ice on the sides. So let me take this old one out. And there we go. Now, I will also use this opportunity to show you what I was talking about. So the water is getting, well, now I'm dripping all over, but it's getting on the top. And as you guys can see, when I'm touching it, only maybe these three are getting wet. The ones on the side are not even getting wet. So unfortunately, that's kind of sucks. But as you can see, this is where the water drops on top and then it kind of slides here, and you can see, I'm not sure if you can see that on camera, but you can see how wet this, maybe like 3 or 4 of these are, but not the ones on the side, which is, I guess, okay. I mean, but you can definitely see this one is the most drenched, the one in the middle, these two. But yeah, that's that one. Now let's put in the frozen one and see what kind of difference it makes. Let me see if I can even pop it in. Am I doing it the right way? Maybe I gotta go this way. There we go. Now it's popped in. All right, so we had 73 degrees with the old filter. Now let's try the frozen one. Let's put it on the first speed. And now this cold air should be immediate. We don't have to wait 5-10 minutes since, you know, the filter is already there. So let's measure it now. Oh yeah, this made a huge difference. So here we go, we got 59.3. That's a huge difference. That's 14-15 degrees than the old filter. And we also, right now in the temperature is 50, no, I'm sorry. So right now in the room it's 77 degrees, and what we're getting is, let me try it one more time just to make sure we're getting the right. So we're getting around 59 to 60.1, so around 60 degrees. So the temperature that's coming out right now, it's about 17 degrees lower than my room temperature, and about 13 degrees lower than the actual regular, if you just kept the regular filter, no freezer, no drenching in water. So that's why on all the directions they say you should drench that in water, then put it in the freezer. Now this could seem like a big hassle, especially if you only have one filter, because you have to turn it on, you know, take it out, put it into the freezer for at least 20-30 minutes, depending how good your freezer is, and then you have to put it in. Now this cold air that's coming out, now depending how hot your room is, where you at, it can stay cold for about, I would say, 20-30 minutes. I don't think I'll give it more than that, because it's just not going to. Even now we can already tell the air is getting hotter and hotter. So right now it's 63.5, and it's only been what, 2 minutes since I put it in. And so we're getting 60.62, and so probably after 30 minutes, you know, even though the air was 60 degrees, it's probably gonna go up to 70 and more. It all depends where you're at, but that frozen filter will not stay frozen for a long time. So in conclusion, I really wanted to like this thing. The biggest reason I do not like it is the sound. It's just very distractive sound. So, you know, since it does have to be very close to you on the desk where you work. And so, for example, if I'm on, you know, my computer doing work, or even if I'm watching YouTube, I can still hear this fan. It's very distracting from the whole effect. Now, does it cool the air? Yes, it does. If you don't want to put the filter in the freezer, it will still give you about 3, 4, 5 degrees depending on humidity in your room and the actual air temperature, but it will give you a 3 to 5 degrees lower air temperature. So as I gave you measurements, so that's good. If you do end up putting it in the freezer, it will give you 10 to 15 degrees, but that will only last 20-30 minutes. So you will have to keep exchanging those filters, putting them in the freezer. For the price, right now it's on sale for $30. I would say, yeah, take a chance on it if you don't mind the noise, and if you do exactly what I did, it will give you that cool air. I did the measurements, so I paid my own money for this. I'm not lying. It's very honest. So It's up to you if you guys want to buy it. I can't say I recommend that, because would I buy it again? No, I wouldn't. I would add more money and buy something better. But if you're on a budget and can only afford thirty to $40 on a fan, I would say, yeah, probably buy this instead of the regular table fans, because this will give you a better, cooler air. The auto fan that doesn't have the water, it will just give you the air of the room. So I do recommend that in that way, if that's the best you can afford. Other than that, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching.